Good morning, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you might be doing. We wish to welcome you to the Silverlight Show. The silverlight shines to illuminate that which lies hidden in darkness. For those of you tuning in today, we welcome you in. I'm getting slightly concerned about the state of education pretty much North America wide. Now, you may recall 2020, we had the pandemic. Schools were shut down, kids were sent home. It was only basically 2021 when they started implementing online solutions. Now, this is not an attack on the teachers. They did the best with what they have. It was an unprecedented situation, and I think overall they did good. But I can see quite clearly that the skills are lacking in the students. My daughter is a full year behind the curriculum, and that's just not me complaining about it. My mother gets a hold of the workbook and the curriculum from every single year from the board itself and gets it to me. One of the advantages of being the son of a teacher. And there's certain things you just can't leave alone. For 2 years, we've had kids graduating from grade 5 going to grade 6 to new schools, and from kids going to grade 8 to grade 9, new schools, plus those that are going on to college and university. And they've been missing out on that essential education. Where's the makeup time? Schools are there to make sure that we have a general standard of education for most kids. Now, every child has a different ability level, and I realize there's a need for special needs, and we have to take every child's perspective into account. Some kids are never going to learn math. It's because they don't have an aptitude for it, they find it boring. There's all sorts of reasons. Some kids will always have trouble writing in English. That's just the way it is. But when a whole public school environment misses out on vital years of development, and there's no effort being made to hurry it up to try to study curriculum faster, like there's a lot of single parent families out there. There's a lot of underprivileged kids out there. They can't afford tutors, even though schools theoretically offer them. That kid may have to be home for any number of reasons, and they may not have that time, again, for any number of reasons. It's always been a criticism in the past of a high school coach who has their star athlete and they bend the rules so that way they get passing grades, even though that athlete is not attending class or passing in any way, shape, or form. And that's kind of the situation that's going on, except it's a North America-wide phenomenon. Everybody missed a year's worth of classes, but that's okay. It really is a crying shame, and action needs to happen now. Again, there's already classes going to university and college that are missing critical information. Imagine, if you will, that you want to be an accountant. I'm picking on accountants for a reason. There's stuff you learn in grade 11, grade 12 about balancing numbers and spreadsheets and stuff like that were not taught in grade 9 and 10. Grade 9 and 10 give you an overview. Grade 11 and 12 get you more specific knowledge. And first year professors and teachers have to catch that knowledge up. It's a huge burden on all the systems. But see, a good old choice. Pay now or pay later. Do you want to give that information to the kids now Or do you want to make them suffer later and have them drop out because they feel they weren't adequately prepared? And this is a real emotion. If you don't give kids the tools, they feel frustrated. They go through a kind of depression where, why am I putting work into this when it's not getting me anywhere? We're crippling 2 generations of students, the ones that are going through and the ones that are still coming up, because the ones that are still coming up either will go back to the old education system, and they'll be performing better than the generation before, or they'll be slowed down. There was a proposal being floated about dumbing math down, although they didn't say that. They said, optimizing, all that sort of thing. But realistically, they don't want to teach algebra. Well, I haven't had too many jobs in the past couple decades where I haven't had to use Excel. And a lot of times I'm either programming or debugging an Excel sheet. The only reason I know how to do that is because of algebra. X equals Y, Z, you take that, except you're using a sum statement or an add statement or whatever it is. And without that knowledge, how are these kids supposed to make something of themselves? Construction is increasingly being performed by machines. Cooking is increasingly being performed by machines. So where are these people supposed to make money? Even fast food. Once was said, you can get a job anytime going to McDonald's. Well, no, because they're replacing workers with, cashiers are going out the door because they have self-serve terminals. The labor in the back is going out the door because a machine can make a burger at the same price or cheaper. And machines tend not to call in sick. They break down, but with regular maintenance, they tend not to. Our children, and indeed everybody's children, need more skills and more awareness to make it into the next economic system. And it ain't going to be capitalism, because capitalism, we're in late to end stage capitalism. We need to reinvent what we're doing, because capitalism is no longer providing the needs of the many. It's providing the needs of the few. Unfortunately, that leaves a lot of people with empty stomachs and nowhere to live. That's unsustainable. The way that we can get people into sustainable jobs is to give them the tools that they need. Math skills, education, reading, science, so that way they can look at trends and say, hey, this is the future. I want in on it. We failed the pandemic in every respect of the word. Now, I'm not talking that there was dissent. By all means, have dissent. Have your questions about it. I can respect people that are suspicious of the vaccine, because other times some pretty nasty things have been snuck into medication. That being said, we failed at life skills. People pretty much had nothing to do but sit at home for nearly a year. And hitting pause on people's life was just not a good thing to do, but especially harmful to the children. They always say there's an age, 7 or 8, which is the last time that you can learn a language and not have an accent. That is true. But it's also true that we stunt their growth in all the other subjects. Again, math, science, technology, all that sort of things, when they're not given that base foundation. And we are not given the opportunity to recover. So that needs to be our focus over the next couple of years. How can we get the children coming into the system equal to what came before them? And I'm not saying you don't love your child, and I'm not saying that you don't give them 100% support in whatever they do, but I'm saying this is a problem that needs to be fixed immediately, because we are continuing the mistakes from 2 years ago, and we're compounding them every single year it goes on. So with that, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Silverlight Show. If you did, please like, subscribe. Don't forget to click the bell down in the notifications, so that way you can get notified every single time a new episode comes out. And we hope you have a fantastic day.